Part 3, you will hear two students discussing a research project with their tutor. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 25. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 25.
Thanks for coming in, Ben and Priya. I have read your pilot report on StudyPod lighting and reading accuracy. Before we discuss results, remind me of the research question.
We wanted to know whether different lighting conditions in individual study pods were associated with proofreading accuracy. We compared a warm setting and a cool setting, then counted the number of missed errors in short texts.
That aim is workable, but the pilot has a serious design problem. It is not that the sample was tiny, although 12 students is not ideal. The bigger problem is that the two texts were not comparable. One contained more technical vocabulary, so the reading texts were not equivalent.
I agree that could explain some of the error difference. We should not treat the lighting as the only reason. I also noticed that the more difficult text had longer sentences, which may have slowed people down independently of the pod setting.
I still think the proofreading task is better than asking people whether they feel focused. With proofreading, errors can be counted objectively. Timing is useful, but the count of missed errors is the cleaner outcome measure.
That is a fair argument. Priya, you wrote that evening sessions should be removed. Are you both agreed on that?
Not exactly. I disagree with excluding evening sessions altogether. Some students only use study pods after lectures, so removing that group would make the study less realistic.
I was more worried about tiredness in the evening, but Priya is right that it is part of normal use.
Then you need to control for it rather than pretend it does not exist. What surprised you most in the pilot data?
The warm light group did not work faster, but they reported less eye strain on the questionnaire. I expected the cool light group to report that.
The speed difference was tiny, so the eye strain result was more interesting than the time scores.
Be careful with the conclusion. You cannot say that warm lighting causes better accuracy. At this stage, the safest conclusion is that there is an association that needs further testing.
Before you hear the rest of Part 3, you have some time to look at questions 26 to 30. Now listen and answer questions 26 to 30.
Now let us revise the project plan. For the sample, recruit students from 2 faculties, not just psychology. That will make the participants less narrow.
Good. For the reading text, we should use texts of the same length. I would also match the number of target errors in each one.
For measurement, we need to record the actual light level. The switch labels are not enough because the pods vary slightly.
Exactly. Use a light meter and write down the reading before each session.
On timing, should we split morning and afternoon?
Not in the main study. Run sessions at one time of day first, then test time differences later if you have enough participants.
And what about the questionnaire?
Keep the questionnaire as secondary evidence. It can explain how students experience the setting, but the main analysis should still use error counts.
So the revised design is wider sample, matched texts, measured lighting, fixed time period, and questionnaire as support.
Yes, that is much stronger, and it keeps the research question focused. In your final report, make the limitations visible rather than hiding them. A modest claim supported by clean evidence is much better than an ambitious claim built on a weak design.
That is the end of Part 3. Now turn to Part 4.